All right. So
Okay.
we're calling this meeting. This is the September 30th, 2021 Ranked Choice Voting Ad Hoc Committee. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Easthampton Ranked Choice Voting Ad Hoc Committee is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to view this meeting while in progress may do so by connecting via Zoom as described on the meeting agenda. All right. So we do have a quorum. We have 4 members, and we have Ray also joining us tonight. And we do have a moment for public speak, if there's any public speak. Okay. I'm trying to see, did we get the meeting minutes? I think we did.
No, those were from me.
Oh, we haven't gotten them from last meeting yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to skip over that for now. Who would like to take the minutes this week?
I can do it.
Okay. Thanks, Barb.
Thanks, Barb.
Yep.
Okay, so we do have an addition to this meeting's minutes, which is talking about write-ins. Why don't we have that conversation first? I feel like that.
Okay. Oh, sorry. The reason I wanted to add that is because we have a candidate, a declared candidate for mayor who's going to be a write-in.
Right.
And I just wanted to make sure I understood, and I actually have an idea of how I want to kind of do this. And I just wanted to, in my head, go over things. Mm-hmm. So, yes, we do have a candidate for mayor who's going to be doing write-ins. He's already got signs out there, and so he's going to be a declared candidate. Who knows how many votes he'll get. So this is what I'm thinking. So Dan, tell me if this is right. So election night, at the end of the night, we're going to close out our machines, and that will give us the first ranking. Mm-hmm. And we'll know, after we add, everything has to be added in together, whether, somebody has, is it 50% or 51%? 50%. Okay.
Plus one vote. If you have exactly 50%, it's a tie, but yeah.
Okay. So it could happen that somebody has 50% and that is pretty much done. Mm-hmm. But if we don't, I know we are handling write-ins at the day after, but I think because we have a declared person who's a write-in, I would like the workers at the polls to actually, because they have to go through the cast ballots anyway to look for write-ins, I would like them to do a count of that person who has declared as a write-in. I think it makes sense because that person's going to be looking to see what they're looking for.
I think that's fine.
I don't see any issue. I think we can do that, and then we'll have an idea. So say nobody gets 50%, and then, but the first round, the write-in is like another candidate, right? The group of write-ins is like a candidate. Mm-hmm. So say that person doesn't get enough. So take me beyond like the first ranking how we work that. How do we add in this person's write-ins into the ranking software?
Right. So that's the second day process, the write-in resolution process, which
we're going to have numbers for this person on election night.
So if you have election workers, look through all of them and tally any declared write-in candidates' totals of first choice votes. That'll be an unofficial result that you could then post per precinct on election night or on the website or whatever. Again, it'd be an unofficial count because it would just be first choice votes, and it would be sort of an ad hoc count of election workers going through and doing sort of the hand tally that we have been doing in the past for write-in.
Okay, do you remember in the software, is there a place, and I have not even opened the laptop,
Mhm.
is there a place to input the number of votes for like a particular write-in?
No. So you don't enter that into the software. What you do is you go through, you adjudicate all of the write-in ballots by resolving who the write-in is for.
But I mean, there could be a lot of them. I mean, say there's
Yeah.
500. We have to
There
go
could
through
be.
every single ballot.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, I think there must be a better way to do it than that. Like if we go through and we say there's 300 write-in votes for this one person and we've hand counted it and we know it.
No, and the reason for that is because they might be ranked in different places, and because they're ranked in different places, they would transfer differently in different rounds. The adjudication process is not slow. I mean, it's quite fast. It's you pull up a ballot and you resolve it for the particular name from that little drop down, and then you go to the next ballot and you repeat. So it's not, I mean, it's not significantly slower than doing the tally that we typically do at the end of the night of tallying write-in names. It may.
Yeah, I mean, what we're going to do at the end of the night is I'm just going to stack them up and we're just going to count them. First ranking for
Correct.
a write-in.
Correct.
We'll just pile them up.
I mean, it doesn't even need to be because the machine will give you first ranking for a write-in, period.
Right.
But if you want, like, that doesn't require any extra work at all, because the machine will keep
Right.
track how many first place
For a write-in.
for write-in. But what you're talking about is having election workers go through and see if they're and count the number of first choice votes for any declared write-in.
Right.
Which we know of one, at least.
Right.
But I don't think it makes sense to say we're going to do it for this particular person. But anyone who happens to declare, right, then you get an unofficial count that night. And I think that's fine,
Okay.
but that's not going to translate later to the software.
Okay.
You have to go through and adjudicate every one of those write-in ballots. Now, I don't think that process is going to be terribly onerous. The software makes it go kind of like doing it by hand and making the little X's.
Yeah, I know that we did it the other day, but okay.
Right.
All right. Okay.
But that in my mind at least is what it's going to end up looking like.
Okay.
So we won't have any results, any publicly unofficial results for anything beyond the first round before the next day.
Right. So unless it's 50%, and then we will.
Oh yeah, and then
Then we'll be done.
then it's
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
it's not, we still have to do it the next day, but like
Right.
we'll know who won essentially. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I have a question actually about how are the poll workers going to be counting real time? Or are you talking about pulling it out of the separated tray?
No, at the end of the night.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Barbara, are you going to make up little forms for them to do that with?
Well, I mean, truthfully, there's a form, but I mean, they're going to be looking for, they're just going to be looking for a name and a ranking. And they're just going to, I think it's rather than doing each ballot, I think it's just really, you just pile them, and I'll have a special form maybe to write the number that they end up with. And it will be unofficial, of course.
Yeah,
It'll be unofficial, but I mean, there's no reason to sit there and go, this person, just stack them up. That'll be the name and the first rankings.
Right, just the count. I think that makes total sense.
I mean, we might as well because we have to look through all the cast ballots in case somebody didn't fill in an oval, but they put a sticker, or they wrote a name. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And
Okay.
those are going to be hand count ballots. So those are going to all get dealt with in the hand count process.
They'll be write-in ballots, not hand count.
If it's a sticker without a dot filled in, then it'll.
Yeah.
It'll be a hand count first, and then it'll be, because hand counts get dealt with.
Right. Those will be. Yeah.
Yep. Now, I mean, what you're talking about is it's a little bit above and beyond, because we are already going to get this immediate machine count of the number of write-ins, and the
Right.
number of write-ins that aren't for the number of first choice write-ins that aren't for the declared candidate isn't going to be a big number. It's going to be a very small
Yeah.
number. But
Well-
I do support the initiative to do that.
Well, you say that, Dan, but I'm sure I've told you about the time that I was almost drafted into running for state senate,
Right.
and the total number of write-ins was greater than the amount that would have made me the candidate. But it turns out that about half of those were people who thought we were in the state senate district to the north and had written in
Right.
candidates for that race.
Okay, all right.
So
Well,
I survived and was not, you just never know.
All right. I take
Right.
it
I mean, write-ins, as you know, Dan, people fill in a write-in spot and they don't write anybody in.
yeah, no,
You know,
right.
or they write in some, there's always those. So it's not like the number that's on the machine for write-ins will all be for this particular candidate.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I would also,
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I would also just emphasize to make sure that when it's reported that very emphatically say that this is the count for all write-ins, including the declared candidate, because otherwise people are going to lose their mind when that number goes down.
Well,
But
no. So both are going to be reported the night of.
Oh,
So the machine tape is going to report the number of write-in votes that got a first choice ranking. And then
All
separately, we're also going to report the number of first choice rankings as counted at the polls for each declared write-in candidate separately. And it's probably only going to be the one, but that's going to be yet a separate number that's reported unofficially on election night.
got it.
Yeah.
That would be the whole conversation you just had. I don't know why I spaced out on that.
That's okay. No, there's a lot of moving parts, so it's fine. In this line of discussion, have you either gotten any more printed information or logistic information from LHS? Are they sending a person here? I mean, they had mentioned that they were going to have somebody.
Yes, Rod will, from LH, well, I think it's Rod. He'll be there, he'll be here all day.
And the following day too, right?
Don't know about that. Not
Okay.
positive.
Okay. All
I'll
right,
have to
well,
ask about that.
and do you know who's going to be on the do you know who's going to make up the panel of the ballot duplication?
Well, Ray is one.
Okay.
And then Brian Fink, who's on our board of registrars, who's a Republican, which I thought that was good.
Yep.
The third person that I asked couldn't do it, so I'm looking for a third person.
Okay.
I haven't gone beyond that, but
Okay.
those are my two so far.
Cool. And I'll be available there to help out if there's
Okay.
questions or logistics.
I mean, I could have you be the third member if you wanted to, but if you'd rather just be kind of like a person in case there's questions, that's fine too.
Either way, I mean,
Okay. I haven't decided yet.
yeah. And then also to do the write-in adjudication. Do you know who is going to be?
Well, I was just going to have the same crew do them all, but.
Oh, okay. Because that one's a little bit more. One of them is this sort of panel that does all the ballot duplication. Right. The other one is really more of a like.
Right, and we only have the one laptop, so only one person will be really able to do that.
Yep.
So.
Someone else could theoretically have like a laptop with voter rolls open to, distinguish if a write-in is for a real registered voter or not.
Oh, we can do that just by looking at them, and putting them in piles. I mean, there's going to be some that we get rid of right away.
Yeah.
Most of them are probably going to be for this declared write-in, but there's other races too, and people always write their names in. So, I mean, I don't think the write-ins are going to be, except for this one person, they shouldn't be too bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and hopefully we don't have too many ballots that we have to duplicate too.
Right.
So I think
with mail-in voting still happening and open to everybody, I imagine we'll have some.
Probably. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
did send you a draft of the thing that I'm going to put in with the ballots.
Yeah.
I sent that late in the day.
Yep, I had a chance to look at it quickly.
Okay. I've taken over too much of the meeting. You go ahead.
No. This is great. This is what we need to be talking about. So, okay. So, let's look at this mailer. Hosts. Can you make me a co-host so I can screen?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yep. I did not do that. There you go.
Okay. All right. So, can everyone see this?
Yep. Yeah.
So this is our current draft of mailer to go out. There's not a lot that's different from last time. The layout on the front side has been updated, so the register and the vote by mail stuff is all on the front, and the top half has been squeezed a bit to fit. We now have a nice high resolution seal, so it won't be blurry. And on the back, we have some changes to the copy that hopefully everyone has had some chance to take a look at.
Mhm.
I updated the names on the example, and I made this little flow chart in the lower right about how the counting works. So Barbara, you'll notice that I changed this back to October 13th, 8 p.m.
Thank you so much. Perfect.
Yep.
I like that side. It looks good.
Yeah. I'm happy with the side too. The QR codes go directly to the links that are next to them.
Perfect.
I did add this little thing because the print shop can put their stamp in there. They have a little union label. So this just shows them where to put it. And they'll remove the pink in the text and that. So what else do we need to talk about this? Jackie had a note. I know she's not here now, but she had a note about the flow chart that said, can we add something essentially to this box here that says like the votes are then redistributed. So my response to that was sort of like, I understand the sentiment of that for sure, but it doesn't work in the context of the flow chart because really you're eliminating the candidate and then you're going back to the
highest ranked.
This first one here, and you're saying, okay, we're going to count each one who's the highest ranked, and that is how they're redistributed. So in the logic of the flow chart, it didn't really make sense to talk about redistributing or anything like that in this particular box. But Barbara, I made the arrows a little bigger and a little pointier. Not a lot, but I tried to do something. So my question at the moment is, are there any aspects of either side of this that we want to discuss or talk about? Or
so I have one thing, and this came up at City Council, and I probably should have shot you an email about it earlier. Councilor Gomez was hoping that we could have some sort of information somewhere to direct Spanish-speaking folks.
Oh, yes. Yep.
To like say, for this information in Spanish, please go to blah, and just put this up, but in Spanish on the website somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I actually I've been working on the website, text, and Dan and I have gone back a little bit, but today I actually figured out how to do a translation of all of the stuff I was going to put on the website, and I actually sent it to Omar, and he had to make a couple, things don't always translate correctly. So I don't know how I'm going to do that on the website, whether I'll just have a link to a document or rather than have it show up twice, but I might say, so I don't know if you want to put some little reference to the website in there, because I'll have it, that document I was working on, Dan.
Right. So
it won't have like the little flow chart or anything, but.
Right. So the website link is here. There's a little QR code and this Easthampton ma.gov 164 elections that goes directly to your elections page. I do kind of like the idea of a little thing that says in Spanish, like just go here.
Is it possible that maybe we could just put it on the first page, like where there's all this big text, just put something saying this information is available in Spanish at, maybe in another little QR code or something, just if it could fit in maybe there.
Of course,
like all this information is available in Spanish at blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except all of this information on this page, all I did was my ranked choice voting page in Spanish.
Mhm.
I mean, I think if you go to the state website, they have a voter registration form in Spanish, but the only thing I did in Spanish was about ranked choice voting.
Okay, so then maybe it does make sense to do it on the other side.
I think so, because,
because it's going to be the same link as here.
Yeah, but you have to have some place on here that tells people that.
Yeah, exactly.
And preferably like in a place that's going to catch their eye so that,
right.
It doesn't get like, if it's,
it
doesn't get like immediately thrown out.
Yep.
If someone's.
You've got the blank area around that bottom right-hand corner there. You got that whole blank that starts at the bottom and goes up and around. You could do it on top of the start box there in that blank space between the top part and the bottom half.
I might be able to fit something in there.
I think I emailed you about this, Dan, and maybe this is really stupidness on my part, but the second bullet on there.
Yeah.
I don't really know
one.
that.
This one.
I don't really, truthfully, in my head, I don't really understand that. And I don't really know how important it is for people to know.
Okay.
I mean, I wonder if you took that out, there might be room to put something about. There might be a little more space, but
Yeah, it would be.
I just don't know if I really understand what that means. And if I don't understand it, I don't know if other people will.
Yeah, I hear you on that. It might not be the most important.
You might also be able to append that to the bullet point ahead in some smaller form. Before it, I mean.
Yep, that's possible too. Yeah, I guess I included it because when people are deciding whether they want to rank more people or not, I don't know. Yeah,
I just don't find it really clear. I'm like,
Right.
I read that a few times and it just wasn't getting through my head.
Yep.
I think living in it, Barb, I think that it doesn't seem clear, but when we were doing a lot of the campaigning, people really thought that if, hold on, Dave. People really thought that if they didn't rank someone or if they stopped ranking, that they were at a disadvantage. So I see why Dan wants it, and I kind of agree.
I think the sentence right above it saying you can rank as many or as few as you want. I mean, isn't that kind of most people? You know what the question I've been getting from everybody is they don't understand why we're doing this because we voted it down. That I've had 3 calls in the past 2 days about that.
Sure.
I told all these people, I said, if you only want to rank one person, it's perfectly okay. I just think that whole bullet is like something that's kind of taken up some space that isn't really needed.
Yeah. I'm pretty much okay with that. I mean, we could do this, and then down here it could say, I don't know what it is in Spanish, but something like if you speak like for Spanish.
Yeah,
Spanish speakers go here.
Yeah, you could put a little thing in Spanish and just
yeah.
in there.
Yep.
For information on ranked choice voting, in Spanish, go to, and then have the link. But have it in Spanish so they'll know.
Do you want me to text Omar to just see if he could jump on to advise on that?
I mean, I even just
You actually can just go into Word and you can do a translate. They have a translate thing.
right.
And I did the whole document in Google Docs. It was very cool.
I mean, I think it could just say, honestly, I think it could just say, hablas español, ? Right? Do you speak Spanish? And an arrow, and here's the code. Like, it doesn't even need to say, I don't think it needs to say anything else. It's clear it's from the town. It's clear it has something to do with voting. Like, I don't know. I feel like that the bigger the text is, the better almost.
Yeah, I agree.
Something like,
Why not have that third bullet for more voting information? Please visit all in Spanish.
yeah, I'm thinking like, this would be formatted better than I'm going to be formatting it now, but.
I just kind of want to see what he thinks. I'm just gonna...
Yeah. Oh, don't do that. Oh, wrong way. You know, kind of something like that with an arrow next to it. Where it's like very clear, like, if you speak Spanish.
Couldn't you just like copy that last bullet point and just put it in Spanish and just have the
Yeah, but then it would be a lot smaller text, you know? So I thought maybe something that's like big.
Man, I don't know if it needs to be that big. I don't, but maybe it does. Yeah.
I mean, if someone can't read English, they're not going to not read the whole thing until they see the two words they can understand in the same font size, you know?
That
Right, I mean, I definitely think it needs to pop out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get you.
I mean,
And it's not just about like, it could be about people who do read some English, but this is kind of confusing stuff and
Yeah, it's
might be
easier.
easier to digest in their native language.
Right. Yeah. I think that's okay.
I forgot this. Oops.
But like I say, it's just going to be my page that I'm setting up about ranked choice voting.
Yeah,
Is Espanol supposed to be capitalized?
I don't know.
Yeah, let me look.
Well, right. So
Maybe? I don't speak Spanish.
I took 5 years of it and I don't remember. I don't think it's capitalized.
But I'll make that look nice with the QR code and an arrow. But I feel good about that. I like that. I think it's more important than the other note. Barbara, I hope you told those folks who called, that the town did approve it.
I
in
did.
2019. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I told them the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still don't understand why we need it, but I
Of
told
course.
them the whole story and how it's going to work. And yeah,
Well, a month ago, I kind of thought we were going to have 2 candidates for mayor and the whole thing was going to be an exercise. But now that we have 3 names on the ballot plus a declared write-in,
yeah,
it may become a lot clearer why we might want to use ranked choice voting.
Yep.
So, that could be a blessing. I assume that neither of the other challengers has withdrawn.
no, everybody, the order is,
Oh, you did the order already too.
I did it. Eric, Nicole, and that Keith Ruthier.
Okay. So one question I wanted to ask about that is, now that we have the actual order, does it make sense to have to have this part be those names.
If we do, then we need to not have those bubbles.
Not have them filled in, of course. Yeah.
I think leaving it as an example is I think it's better to leave it like this. This is just an example.
Plus, it could be used again in 2 years.
Yeah, without any changes.
Right. And this doesn't you would have to fill in a bubble, and you don't want to look like you're supporting somebody.
No, we couldn't do that. Yep. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about?
that QR code that's next to Hablas and Espanol, maybe you want to pop that up so it's in line with the link above.
Right.
Yeah, I think this whole little area here, I'm gonna just try and jostle things around a little bit so that it's a little cleaner. I'm not gonna do that now during the meeting, but I'll send it out.
And so I also had something to talk about on the flow chart where it says start a new round of counting beginning from 0.
Yeah.
What does everyone think about start the next round of counting? Is there a reason that we use new versus next? Or does it matter?
That might be better.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
That's good.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Yeah, my goal in this was to use as few words as possible to get all of the information necessary. And this obviously does not go into anything to do with ties.
Yeah.
But it is about as condensed as I could make it while not feeling like it was omitting anything in a sort of hand-wavy sort of way.
I do think it's a little unclear as to, after you eliminate the candidate with the fewest votes, I mean, it kind of isn't clear what happens between that and what happens with those votes that were with that person. I mean, I kind of agree with Jackie in that it feels like there needs to be something in there that explains what happens with that candidate's votes. And I'm not sure how to make it simple and, whether in between the two boxes, there needs to be candidates, I don't know, something about the moving up of the, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it kind of looks like there's something missing between those two, eliminating the candidate and then starting all over again. It kind of makes you wonder, where did my votes go?
What about eliminate the candidate with the fewest votes and count the next ranked candidate on the ballot or something like that?
Well, but this box says that already.
Yeah. You're right.
That's the. I mean, I'm all open to shifting something around, but it still has to be, it still has to be cognizant as a flow chart, Yeah. Because we're not doing, this says eliminate the candidate with the fewest votes. It doesn't say, we're not doing anything with ballots here. We're not removing ballots or.
We're just going up to their second choice.
Right. But if there's a way of, I completely understand what you're saying and what Jackie's saying, and I not even understand, I agree with.
Maybe that candidate's second place votes will be, I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. It just.
I mean,
there is an element of this where I look at it and I'm sort of like, wow, it is simpler than my brain may think. When I think about RCV and the counting process, it seems like it should be more complicated than this, but it isn't. It literally is this simple. And so my brain does rebel against it a little bit, being like, wait, isn't that too simple? But it really is. I mean, no one's vote is moved. You're really just counting the ballot again for
whoever the highest ranked person is.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe we could eliminate the box entirely that says start the next round of counting beginning from 0 and just move that arrow right to the start again.
So actually, that was my first version of this. Did not have this box at all. It had not that, and it had a curved arrow. I'm not going to make the curved arrow right now, but it had a curved arrow that went right back to here. The reason I changed it was because I was a little bit concerned that it looked like something cumulative was happening.
Right. And I agree with that thought.
So I added this because it was sort of like, no, we're not adding up. There's no summing here. It's like we're doing a new round of counting.
It just almost seems like if you put that person as your first vote, then you're done. And, you know, it doesn't show that, okay, your favorite candidate is gone, but you're still in the running. You know, you still get to be counted. This kind of seems like, okay, you voted for like this person and that person is gone. Sorry, we're not counting your votes at all. There's something about that makes me think like, people need to know that they're still not out of it if they ranked more than one person.
Yeah, they have to rank them. That's the thing. Yeah.
Well, if you only ranked one candidate, then you are done.
Then you are done. Yeah. If your candidate not in first place, or
if you ranked more than one,
you have two.
I mean, your ballot isn't eliminated in that case. Your ballot is exhausted. It's still counted. It's still a valid ballot in the election.
Right, but it's counted as a blank.
It just doesn't go to any candidate. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why, you know, maybe.
No, I don't like that. No ballots are eliminated. I don't like that.
Okay.
I would rather have it the way you had it before.
I understand what everyone's saying, but I'm having a really hard time thinking of a better way to do this.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's okay. I just wonder if people might wonder, well, if I voted for Joe Schmo and he's gone, I mean,
hopefully people start at where it says start.
Yeah.
And they read this box first.
Right.
And it says count each ballot for the highest ranked candidate who has not been eliminated.
Right.
I mean, one thing that we could do here is we could do something like this, where it's like emphasized a little bit.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or we could even bold it. I mean, I don't know if that's better or not, but.
Yeah, I like the bold.
Or even, I mean, it could even just be not. For each.
I mean, I think I'm okay with it. I just, you know.
I mean, I'm just thinking this might be another, in the context of the flowchart, way of making it, of drawing more attention to that.
Right.
I have a question. When you show the results of the election, are you going to show each person, each candidate, how many first choice, second choice, third choice rankings they got?
Yes. Well, what you see is you actually see rounds. So if somebody wants to go and look, this what's called CVR, cast vote records, are available, so they can see that data. But the way the final results are presented is by round. So you see how many votes each candidate got.
Okay. So they would have that information. Okay.
That is information that is not hard to pull out, and it could be displayed. I mean, the clerk's office could post a little chart that shows that information. Because it isn't a points system, you know, we're not really going to be like tallying those up per se, but it is information. It is interesting information to have and to look at. Let me see if I have.
But that information is going to be made available to the newspapers. They'll print it that way in the newspapers.
They'll
Probably
print whatever they
not.
want to print, but
Yeah.
I mean, the reminder, when the city council used RCV for the empty seat, the reminder printed the whole round by round spreadsheet.
They did. Huh?
They did, yeah. Okay, so here's an interesting. I'm going to share the screen on this for a second. Let's see. Not to confuse things, but you guys have already waded through the mud with all of this, so I don't think this will be too bad.
I need to open up that laptop and see what's in there. I haven't even done it yet.
Oh yeah,
And I do think that Jeff is going to come out and do training with us ahead of time too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I need to talk to him about that.
So Ray, I just shared this. This was in 2019. We did Art in the Orchard as a ranked choice voting thing where people could rank all 30 sculptures that they had in the orchard.
Goodness.
So what this is a chart of this is not the typical kind of way that results would be presented, but it is interesting to see, and this shows exactly how many of each rank each one of them got, which there's insight that you can glean out of this that you wouldn't necessarily otherwise, and this is something that either the city could create a chart like this and share it, or a citizen could, because you can do this from the cast vote records. You can create this kind of data.
Love that you can see exactly how many people actually ranked all 30 statues.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That's dedication.
I would only do like 5.
I think I did like 4 or 5.
So, and here's another, you guys are going to like this one too. This is a similar,
Hey, by the way, I just got a text from Omar saying that he's planning to jump into this meeting in like 5 minutes.
oh, great.
Good.
Fantastic. This is a, hold on, and let me share this. This is a really awesome chart as well. So this is how many
3.
total did they rank? Yeah, there were 3 blank ballots, but
No, yeah.
but look at that. There's interesting peaks. There's 3 has a peak, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30.
Look at how many people did 30 though. 45 people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's some
What the
dedicated
heck?
sculpture enthusiasts.
Or dedicated RCV enthusiasts. You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
were you one of those, Dan?
Oh yeah, of course I was. I bet Tom was too. I don't know. But...
No, I only did like 5.
Oh really? Okay.
I don't think I did any.
I'm not much of an art critic, so I was just like, these were the ones that stood out to me.
But you know what's interesting to me in all of this? Way more people did 3 or 5 than did 1. Which I thought I didn't think that. I thought the most people, the
Would just pick their
largest
favorite.
one would just pick their favorite. Would just
And well, it's really hard to pick a favorite
it is.
because they're so nice. So that's
know.
why they probably picked 3 or 5. And they probably liked them all pretty equally.
Yep. Well, and that's what this
Yeah.
that's what this one shows, and you can see the winner was well, actually it's hard to see the winner from this chart.
Oh,
because
Elephant's Child.
Elephant's Child won the most in the first round, and it also won overall, but it did not get a majority in the first round because
Field of Hearts did pretty well.
Field of Hearts did pretty well, but look at all these that got 40, 48, 46, 77, 36. There was a pretty big spread. So anyway, I thought you guys might like some of that data. Let me go back to this guy. So do you guys think that having this does that help at all, having it?
Yeah, I'd bold it.
Bold it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's nitpicking, but I liked it when the whole clause was,
Who has not been
Highlighted.
Was
eliminated?
not-
Yeah.
yeah, that's good too.
but I don't care too much.
like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That seems fine.
Yeah. See, because that puts a little bit more of the emphasis originally on the elimination process. And so
Yeah.
then when you see eliminate the candidate, it's you're a little familiar. You're like, okay, some candidates are going to get eliminated and the ballots are going to keep being counted. So
Omar's here. Omar.
Yeah. Hi, Omar.
Hi,
How's it going?
good at you.
Good. Thanks for joining us. I think we were, so what we're doing is we're looking at this, creating a final draft of this mailer that's going to go to everyone in the city.
Okay.
And we kind of, one thing that we just changed is we like the idea of having a link for people who speak Spanish for more information. And so our current feeling about this was we had this thing, this is the design here is not done by any means, but we have this bit here that had already been for more voting information, go here to this easthamptonmass.gov, blah, 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 go right to the elections. And that's what this QR code goes to as well. It goes to the same place if you pull out your phone. And that's where all the translated Spanish information is going to be. So what I was thinking was that something in big text that's just like, if you speak Spanish, go here.
Okay.
And you'll find everything. So I think, we're looking at something sort of like this, but it might not be ideal or perfect. But what are your thoughts about that? I just wanted it to be as big as possible. Probably throw in like an arrow here pointing to the QR code.
Yes, I think that's great. I think that big is good. But the only concern when I saw it was like, yes, you know what? Yes, I speak Spanish, but and now what? I think the arrow will be designed to say, habla español. Yes, you speak Spanish, use the code.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess my only concern is not everyone knows how to use QR codes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think, should you also have the link in there?
Well, the link is here.
Yeah.
And the link, and that link is, if I press the link, I'll go to Spanish one.
It won't go to a Spanish one, but Barbara is going to put a thing at the top that is a translation of all of the information into
Right.
Spanish.
That thing I sent you today, Omar.
Yeah.
Did you like that? Was it okay?
Yes, I fixed a few things because a few things didn't make sense.
Okay.
But I mean, I can tell you probably the 85% of the document was right. I just changed a few words because when you use Google Translate, sometimes it's not the best it's not the best system to translate.
Right.
Did
you think the information was clear enough? Did it make sense when you read it? Like,
yes, definitely was clear.
Okay.
And really, really easy to understand too.
Okay. And the link, and you said the links worked okay.
Yeah, the link was okay. And all the document that you sent me, everything was really good. That was
Okay.
I appreciate that you guys are doing it in Spanish because our population here is growing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And everything was perfect. Thank you, Barbara.
Yeah, I'll probably just put it on there as a link, like some kind of a big bold link, so people can just click it and it'll pop up in Spanish.
Yes, and it's just, and the other thing, especially especially what they said, that we are new doing this. Even in Puerto Rico or in any other Latin country, we don't use it. We don't use ranked choice voting.
Right.
So for everybody's new.
It's new for everyone. Yeah.
Yes, everybody's new. So
unless you're from New York City, recent New York City transplant.
Exactly. So I think that was a good document to bring to the community.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, my main question for you was is this highlighted bit, or sorry, I can't actually highlight it because it's weird, but just the habla español part, if that's clear enough.
Yeah, it is clear.
To be like.
It is clear that it's taking my attention. That was the first thing, me as being Spanish is the first language. Yeah. It takes my attention right away. The only thing that my concern is, yes, I speak Spanish, and now what I'm supposed to do.
Yep,
Right.
and that's why I'm going to try and put in some sort of a nice. I'm going to try and format this lower left area here, this whole little section with the QR code, to make it clear that the link and the more information and the Spanish information and the QR code are all kind of connected to each other.
Right. Like I almost just wonder if it wouldn't make sense to just have a little bit of additional language just saying this information is available in Spanish at the above link or something like that, even though it would have to be a little bit smaller. It could still probably take up the same space, just because like I'm a little embarrassed. I just figured out how to use QR.
Can I suggest something?
Yeah.
You know where they say for more voting information, please visit here.
Yeah.
I think we can use exactly the same, but just in Spanish.
Okay. So let's see if we do something like, this is going to be bad, but
Yeah.
something like that.
You know what? It sound perfect.
Okay. Perfect is perfect.
So,
I might change it a little bit to say like, please visit the link below or something. I don't know, but something like this, where it says it in both English and Spanish, I think would be great. I'll make it pretty.
Yeah, but that makes more sense. Like if I'm gonna click for a link and I speak Spanish and I don't speak any English, I think that instruction should be in Spanish too, and you already did, so I think that will be good.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Omar. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Cool. All right. Other than formatting stuff, which I'll send out before this gets printed. What do we have any other parts of this that we want to talk about or change?
I love it.
I think it looks good.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Cool. Okay. So the next step is going to be, I'm going to work on this tonight and tomorrow. That'll be very quick, but then is getting it printed. So Collective Copies is going to be printing them. I did get some proofs from them of a previous version. They looked great. The paper was really nice, and it's very crisp. And we're doing about 9,600 of them. And I'm more than happy to handle all the logistics since I've done it before. So anyone else wants to give me a hand with that stuff, you're definitely welcome to, because it's a lot of weight. There's a lot of, it's heavy.
Your purchase orders are all set, Dan, for both Collective Copies and for you.
Oh, good. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, the city's going to be able to pay Collective Copies directly. I'm going to get reimbursed for the postal service stuff. There's a little bit of manual labor involved in separating out the bundles to be the right number. We're going to get them from Collective Copies in bundles of 50, but then they have to be prepped into routes of the right number of pieces.
Approximately how many households per route?
It's like 300 or so, 300 to 400.
I mean, I can help, Dan. I don't know how you want to do that, but I could certainly help.
Well, it might be nice to bring them over to 50 Payson and just put all of them in that room, and we could bundle them all there.
Sure.
Let me know when you do that, and I'll come by too.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Yeah. Let us know the day and time you want to do that. And
okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be terrible. I think it's 18 or 19 routes. And each one gets a little cover sheet from the order off the website, and but it's pretty straightforward. So with a couple people, it'll go pretty fast.
Yep. We have space, so if you want to bring them by and let us know, and we can help.
That'll be great. That'll be really easy.
Dan, what was the bill with the post office?
Let's see.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I have this all here because I sent it to Barbara. Let me pull that up. I think this is it. No, that's not it. So let's see, it is 15.5 cents per piece from the printer.
Oh,
So that's $1,500 for printing. And then postage is 20 cents per piece.
okay.
So it's $1,918 in postage.
That's cool. That's good to know. 20 cents a piece
20
for
cents
letter
a pop.
size. Yeah.
Yeah, EDDM has its own size. It's very specific size guidelines. So it actually has to be quite a bit bigger than a typical envelope. It can still be a square rectangle, but there's a range that it has to be within.
Yeah.
And there's a very specific thickness requirement. So it can't be like a booklet. I think it can be something that's maybe folded once and taped, but it has to be quite thin.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. 20 cents is very reasonable.
Oh, yeah. You can see why this is so much more attractive than doing it to individual addresses.
Yeah.
Also, that you don't have to print, you don't need a list of addresses and you don't have to print all of those addresses. You can have it. Each one looks exactly the same. So
Dan, I just saw one tiny little thing that I'm sure if Sarah was here, she would have seen it.
great. Yeah.
And the very bottom, how a ranked choice election is counted, I don't think the I should be a capital. Should it?
Oh, and is?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you're right.
It depends on what is. Come on, that was gold.
I don't think counted should be a capital either.
I was alive for that. I wasn't there. You don't think what should be a capital?
Counted.
No, counted is the verb.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know. I just noticed that. All right. I like the capital better.
I feel like
I don't know.
it either they should, other than is, they should all be capitalized because it's the title, or none of them should be capitalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Like
just,
ranked choice isn't a proper noun.
yeah. I would just put the I as small and keep the rest like you had it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know why I noticed that. I don't know. I just did.
I like it this way. This looks fine to me. Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of a title, but elsewhere in the guide we have been capitalizing ranked choice voting
Right.
as a phrase, which I think is
Okay. That's enough on that. It looks
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
Sorry.
You really went above and beyond, Dan. You did a really great job on this
It-
thing.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so good. So we're in good shape with that. Let's see. Discussion, editing of RCV flyers and educational materials. So I'm going to pull up your email ballot insert. Download this. Come on. It's opening. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is Barbara's
Oh,
insert, which is good. But like I thought all the information in here was clear. One question I had for you was, would you for the examples, do you want to use the same example?
we could. I just took it from that thing that I'm going to put on the website. The little.
Yeah. But
I
I mean,
grabbed that from someplace.
if you want it to look like the our actual ballot.
I mean, if you could put that in there, that I just didn't have that. So
Yeah. So
this was from that thing that I'm going to put on the website. It was from the Ranked Choice Voting Center.
Yep. Yeah, I thought it was great. Is this going to be printed color with highlighting, or is it going to be black and white?
Well, I would like it to be. I hope we don't end up with thousands of mail by mail ballots.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because I kind of like having the highlighted colors, but
Yep, I do too.
I think I'll start with that and see how many we end up with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is all other stuff. Basically, the only ranked choice voting stuff is this.
You know, one thing I wasn't sure about, because I have 3 choices there, but we're going to have, there's the 4th write-in line, but I put the write-in. I mean, I was just using it as an example.
Right.
And I didn't know if 3 was good, but then I did put in about the write-in, what you have to do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest, Dan. Sorry.
Well,
we could do, I mean, and it doesn't, they could be pre-filled or not, but we could have that be the example instead.
Well, the thing says, first, I think it should have a 3rd choice.
Yeah, I can add one on there. And maybe this one doesn't have a write-in filled in on it. I don't know.
Right. Because I guess that's all right.
But something like that. So if you want, we can coordinate on getting
I kind of like the graphic of the other one because it was really nice and big.
I know.
Simple.
I know.
But I guess it's maybe better to have it look exactly kind of like what it's going to look like. So yeah, if you could do that and send it to me, that would be good.
Okay.
Yep.
My other question for you guys was, do you think that this insert should have some things about what not to do?
I think the simpler the better on how to mark a ballot.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
People aren't going to read it anyway.
Yeah, no, I know. And it's also, there will be some instructions about that on the actual ballot itself, because that language is there above it. So hopefully they read that, if they're confused at all.
Yep.
Probably anyone who's really confused is going to call you.
Yeah, they will. Yeah. So edit that and send it back to me, Dan. That would be great. Okay. Because we're going to have the ballots probably the week of Indigenous Peoples Day.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Omar is raising his hand.
Yeah, I see Omar. You have a question?
Yes, I think it's kind of simple to understand what we're supposed to do. And I do agree with you. Probably we're going to have questions about what not to do. Maybe one of the questions is, what happens if I vote for Steve Storm as a 4th, 3rd, or 4th choice, and that's it? I don't vote for anyone else as a 1st, 2nd choice, or 3rd one.
Yep, and that's a good question. If it's I see. So if it was only a 3rd choice and there was no other dots on there.
Exactly. That's one of the things.
That's a good question for.
That's one of the things that we're not supposed to do, or what is going to happen if I do that.
It's a good question, because now I'm forgetting specifically in the software if it treats that as a skipped rank or if it bumps it up to a 1st choice.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, it will. I think this is the case.
Yeah.
It will allow 1 skip, but not 2. Does that ring a bell? Like, so if you put it in second choice.
No, because the software couldn't distinguish 1 to 2 skips, so we had to decide, do we want to allow skips or not as a whole? But what I don't know is if the software considers that to be a skip or not, because it's still the highest ranked candidate on that ballot. You know what I mean? There's no one higher.
And I'm just asking because I just want to know if that's one of the things that we are not supposed to do.
Correct. No, you want to start with a 1st choice.
Okay. Yeah.
Having a 3rd choice and no 1st or 2nd choice is not ideal. My understanding is that probably that will get counted as the 1st choice because it's the highest ranked candidate on that ballot. But I can't guarantee that. It's a little nonsensical when you're presented with a 1st choice, but I can see how someone might end up doing that. It's not something that we've seen in other ranked choice voting elections a lot of.
Yes, and I hope no one did it, but some people, they don't care about who we're going to vote. And they say, you know what, I'm going to ruin this. I'm going to, instead of 1st and 2nd, I'm going to say 3rd, and that's going to be my vote.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it will, my guess based on my knowledge of the software is that it would be 1st, but we can find out for sure. We'll know exactly. There wasn't something that was a specific option for that, so it's not something we have any control over in the tabulation software. So it's going to do what it does with that. But again, my guess is that that will be considered a first choice for that candidate because no one's higher ranked on that ballot. If it does interpret it as a skip, then it will be ignored. It just won't come in.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something that, I mean, you've got first, second choice and you got the numbers right. It just doesn't seem like something people are going to do very much.
It's not going to happen often, but it is a good question.
If it does, then it's probably just going to be a blank. That's what I would think.
Yeah. It's either going to be a blank or it's going to get treated as a vote for that person.
Yeah, I mean, if I saw just a third choice, I would think that is not intended to be a first choice.
Right. And Omar, just to give you some context on that, for example, if somebody ranks somebody first and somebody last, and they leave the ones in between blank, then that last choice is not treated as their second choice. It's treated as a, I don't like this person vote. Because people do that a lot more often, is they say, I like number one, this is my number two, and then this person I really don't want to win, and they skip over everything else and do a last place one. And that last place one, we as a committee decided, because this was a choice that we had, do not want that to be bumped up as a like, I actually like this person more than everyone who I didn't rank. We decided that no, based on the way people vote, that person is expressing a dislike for that candidate.
Hate voting.
And I just want to try to clarify my question, because when you guys start talking about what we are not supposed to do, I'm not thinking that everybody's going to do like what I said.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say like, is maybe that's one of the things that we're not supposed to do, right? Because
correct.
Why I'm going to vote for third when you were supposed to be my third options?
So actually, while you're here, Omar, I would love to have you take a quick look at this, which is somewhat old, but is also something that will probably be adapted within the next couple of weeks for something that we put at the polls. And let me just pull it. It's going to take me just a sec to find it. Not where I wanted it to be. We just have to find it, that's all. Here it is. I found it. Okay. Because this gets a bit more into exactly what you're talking about. Okay. Can everyone see that shared?
Yep.
So here's like I said, this is old and might be changed a fair amount more, but you can see it gives you at the top 3 pretty clear examples of things that are okay. You can vote for 1, you can vote for 2, you can vote for everybody. And then down below, it shows you a bunch of examples of what not to do. And this does actually include example that you asked about.
Yep, I see
which is that first one, which is like, don't leave the first one unmarked. Don't skip over rankings. This says not to do this. Again, some of these things, it's not going to invalidate your whole ballot. You know, if you do skip over rankings, that first choice vote is still going to count.
Okay.
If you rank someone low and skip over them, that first choice vote is still going to count. But the things that are X'd through here are at least the things that are probably not going to be taken into consideration. Now, this may have been based on my understanding at the time of the software, or may have actually been based on the tabulation itself. But you know, I did put a cross through here at the time. Again, this was made probably 6 or 8 months ago, so I'm not sure that this would get bumped up. But
Dan, it'll kick it out too. Like it won't get accepted, right? Like it'll kick the ballot out at.
Correct. Yeah. On election day, it'll get spit out.
Well,
really?
Yeah.
well, it won't for all of them.
It will for.
It will for the overvoting.
Any of these red boxes, it will get kicked out for on election day. None of these will get accepted.
Are you sure on that?
So basically I'm sorry that I'm talking and.
No, this is great. I'm really glad.
Basically the software is going to tell the people who's working at the polls, it's going to, hey, something's wrong with this ballot.
Yes.
You have to vote again or we're not going to accept it.
And it's very easy. You spoil the ballot, they get a whole new ballot, and poll workers, we can't tell people who to vote for, but we can tell them.
Explain them.
Yeah.
What the problem is and how to correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were some what was the thing at our testing, Dan, that we said, oh, we can't have that because it's going to kick out
It's
like,
this one.
oh,
It's the if you rank 2 and you don't rank 3 or 4.
okay.
This will not get kicked out. If
Okay.
you decide to stop ranking, none of these green ones are going to get kicked out.
Okay.
Because even though you are leaving some of the ranks blank, it's totally fine and you rank as many as you want. But if there's any of these skipped ones, if your marks aren't clear, if you do an overvote or it's gonna kick it out. Now that doesn't apply to mail-in votes. So if they're mailed in, they are exactly what they are.
Right, and they'll have to go in for hand counting.
Exactly. If the machine can't read it, the ballot's going to get duplicated and it's going to get read.
So I have another question.
Yeah.
So if I do sample number 1, right?
Yeah.
And the machine say that they didn't get the ballot because it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So the person who's working at the polls that day, they're going to have something similar like this that they can show to people, like probably you did something like this.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they're probably just going to say, this isn't marked correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Can you look at it? Because we don't like to stare at people's ballots and see how they voted.
No, but I didn't. That's what I said. If we're going to have a sample of this, what we're seeing now, the people can say you do something like this.
Yeah.
Please vote the other way or whatever.
Right. The machine will have a message about why it's, it'll kick back and say overvoted race, mayor race or something like that.
Yep.
Or something, or blank voted.
If a voter has questions at that moment about it, this kind of stuff will be available to them.
Perfect.
Even though if you do skip a race totally, it's not going to kick it out because some people just come in and bullet vote one person and they, it's not going to kick that out.
I think it prompts though.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
Because sometimes people skip over races. They don't want to do them. It doesn't,
I thought we had it. I thought our setting was for it to prompt if it's totally blank.
Well, if it was totally blank, yes. The whole ballot. We're talking the whole ballot. But say somebody doesn't want to vote the ranked choice voting at all. They just want to vote for counselor at large.
Yeah.
If there's a blank on there for if that somebody skipped a race, it's not going to.
I don't think it'll kick it out. No.
It's only if it's totally blank. Yes, then it would.
It'll say, "Do you want to?"
Because people sometimes don't want to vote in there. They might not want to vote in school committee because there's no race.
Right.
And there's too many people and they don't know who they are.
Right.
Guys, I'm gonna have to hop off in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. But I like all of this. I'm really happy with where it's all going. So
okay. I'm gonna modify my next thing is I'm gonna work on this document to change a couple things and actually simplify it a little bit more for something that will be available at the polls. So I'll continue to communicate with folks about that.
Okay.
I don't know that we have any other business, but if we do we have any other business?
Yeah, and the next meeting is October 14th at 6:00.
Correct.
Tom, can you please see if you can get that meeting for Tuesday?
Yeah, I texted Peg. I'll message you about this separately.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
I'm
All right,
working
just
on
don't forget because I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well,
All right, then I will be in communication with people with a revised version with the Spanish and the link cleaned up and made pretty. And then I will also be in communication when we've picked up all the print stuff and it's ready for sorting.
When do you anticipate it being mailed, Dan? Do you have a target date in mind?
Yeah, we had the date was, I think we wanted it to be mailed out sometime on the 6th, between the 6th and the 8th.
Okay,
So about a week from now.
okay.
Just so it would, people would get it several
Before
days
the
before
voter
deadline.
registration deadline.
Yeah.
Yep,
So I think I'm gonna aim for like next Wednesday. I think would be
okay,
ideal.
excellent.
But it'll be midweek next week that we
Okay,
do the sorting. Cool. All right.
all right.
Motion to close the meeting.
motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
That is everyone except Barbara.
oh, me, sorry.
All right, cool. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
And
Thanks,
have a good
everyone.
evening. We'll be in touch. Bye.
Okay.